Hello, welcome back to this special edition of World Business Report. From social networking has been one of the great success stories of the internet. I'm not just talking here about teenage chat rooms. In India, Shaadi.com has a huge following matching together prospective marriage partners. The problem is, how do you get the customers to come back for more? From Mumbai, Karishma Vaswani has this report.
A fairy tale wedding made in India. Marriages here are a sacred event, but also a chance for celebration. And the excitement here is palpable. Family and friends getting together for a big, noisy party, and no one is disappointed. This is how Indian weddings are celebrated, full of fun, dance, colour and drama. Now, the bride and groom have just concluded a ceremony in which traditionally Indian brides and grooms accept one another. But more and more Indian people are choosing a rather non-traditional route to find a partner.
Absolutely fine.
Take 32-year-old Preeti Saverdekar, for example. She's a dermatologist here in Mumbai. Her parents have tried many times to set her up with a man, but their choices weren't to her liking. So Preeti decided to head online to look for love and found Shaadi.com, India's largest matrimonial website. Using the internet to find a partner is becoming an easier way for young working Indians to get hitched.
It's very easy to sit on your computer at 2 a.m. in the morning, or even if it's like 6 a.m. in the morning when you come back and you've come home late and you don't have time the whole day because I'm busy in my clinic. At least the computer or a laptop is very easy to access it anytime, and that's what made me say that I don't have time for a 6 o'clock meeting with a guy, but maybe I can at least go online and chat with him first and then find a convenient time to meet up. So that's where I guess online seemed more easy and accessible, so we said let's do it.
And Shaadi.com is cashing in on that growing number of young Indians who use the internet. It now boasts 9.1 million members online, each paying a subscription fee of at least $20. But the business head of the website told me the firm secured $18 million in funding from American private equity firms to expand offline.
If you look at the Indian audience, then the internet penetration in India is still not down to the smallest town and city. And there is a huge chunk of this Indian audience out there which are parents and elders who may never get on to the internet, who are not computer savvy and therefore will not be computer savvy in the future, and they make a lot of marriage decisions. So the idea was that we said, hey, listen, hey, we understand this market so well, can we take this service offline to those people who would not be coming online and try and give them a service which is a requirement of the day to day. And that's how actually Shaadi Point came about.
It's the website's large database of single men and women that is so attractive to Shaadi's offline customers. And with 18 branches of Shaadi's marriage consultancies across India, using the human touch to bridge India's technological divide seems to be working. Karishma Vaswani, BBC News, Mumbai.
Yeah, goodbye.
CNBC TV 18 and you're watching India Business Hour. The Indian .com scene is hotting up with venture capitalists promising $4 billion in investments in the next 3 years. But is this .com boom for real? CNBC TV 18's Kenan Machado and Abhimanyu Radhakrishnan find out.
The India boom is benefiting online entrepreneurs as well. That's because venture capitalists are back again, pouring money into .coms like Bharat Matrimony, Shaadi and Sulekha. VCs are being attracted by the potential of e-commerce in India. By 2007, online commerce is expected to be a 2,300 crore rupee market, which is roughly 10% of organized retail. That's not all. India's online population is predicted to grow fourfold to 100 million by 2007 from 25 right now. As investments increase, so do valuations. But are they getting stretched?
My opinion is, valuations are certainly on the high side. We've been investing in India since 2003, and we've seen momentum building, similar to what happened in the .com days. And it's kind of a cyclical pattern, right? And I think the best thing for investors to do is stay rational.
And staying rational is a view being echoed by other venture capitalists as well.
I think they're absurd. I think in many cases it doesn't make a lot of sense. The end markets don't support it.
VCs unanimously do agree that this time around the dot-com boom is for real. That's because you now have real-world cash flow and revenue models, which is a far cry from quoting eyeball figures in the mid-90s.
Online advertising is now based on realistic pay-per-click models. A PricewaterhouseCoopers survey says that by 2010, the Indian online advertising market will touch 750 crores. What does this mean? It means that the promise is there, but the expectations could do with a little moderation. In Mumbai, Kenan Machado.
They're young, they're passionate, and they're on the road to make it big. You've seen them up close and personal on Young Turks, and today is your chance to relive some moments that have made Young Turks so special. Hello and welcome to this very special episode of Young Turks. I'm Shireen Bhan. Over the past 2 years, we've taken you through a journey into the lives and aspirations of over 250 young, dynamic, passionate individuals. Personalities who've carved a niche for themselves across the spectrum, whether it's business, the arts, sports, or even politics. These young men and women have decided to make the impossible possible, and their vision is lasting and sustainable. So what is that one quality that makes these young achievers so special? Is it the ability to think big, think ahead, and think fast? Is it the gumption to stand alone despite the odds? Is it the courage of conviction to tread on a path never taken before? Is it the dream to run rather than walk? Is it the valor to try, to compete, and to eventually succeed? Perhaps it's the right mix of all of these qualities that make them the success stories that they are. On this special episode of Young Turks, we bring you some of our most influential young achievers who shared their dreams with us and then turned them into reality. Here are their stories. Malvinder Singh is the new face of India's premier pharma giant Ranbaxy. In spite of being part of the promoter family, Malvinder joined Ranbaxy as a management trainee in 1994. After his father Parvinder Singh's death in 1999, D.S. Barad took over as managing director, unusual for a family-run business where the natural heirs are seen as successors. Malvinder's first big responsibility was heading the global licensing and business development department. He was later promoted to regional director in 2002. After Barad retired in July this year, Malvinder took over as president pharmaceuticals and executive director.
If you look at in 2004, we hit $1 billion in revenue, which was the target that we put for ourselves in 1993. And two and a half years ago, we had a group of, I would say, 35 to 40 top people in the organization really get together for 2.5 days. And we sat and we brainstormed and we decided really where we wanted the organization to go. At that point in time, we were all fairly close in terms of what we wanted the system to do, and which was that in 2007, we'll aim for a revenue base of $2 billion, which is pretty much doubling the revenues from $1 billion where we are today. And for 2012, we're looking at a base of $12 billion, of $5 billion.
In 2005, Malvinder Singh took over as the CEO and managing director of India's largest pharma company, Ranbaxy. Ranbaxy today has operations in 46 countries with manufacturing facilities in 7 and is ranked among the top 10 generic companies in the world. In fact, Malvinder helped the company close a whopping 8 acquisitions in 2006, putting it on track to meet their sales target of $2 billion by the end of 2007.
This, what you see here, is the Sula Vineyard Estate, We first started planting these grapes about 6 years ago. This was just after I came back from California, where I struck up a partnership with one of the top winemakers in Sonoma. And then it took us a couple of years for these grapes to come to fruition. We started work on the winery in '98, crushed our first grapes, made our first wine in '99, and then launched the wines in 2000. When I was working at Oracle, I had a girlfriend from California who insisted that I should drink wine and stop drinking cheap beer. So that's really when my passion took off. It's fairly easy to set up a winery and make a decent wine. It's when you want to take that next step and make a really good wine, a world-class wine, that's when it becomes a little bit difficult. I would say money isn't everything. When you do have the luxury of having parents who have a business and who are willing to support you in whatever you do, you can stop and look at your life and decide where you want to go. So then I didn't really care about all these other things about, oh, it's going to be tough to get the permissions, or it's going to be tough to sell it in other states, or the fact that the wine market wasn't mature. We just said, look, there's an opportunity here. We can make good Indian wine. I didn't feel enough work had been done on that yet. So I said, let's go for it. We're going to be going to California next month with our wines. We're going to be served in some of the best restaurants in San Francisco. And these are people who really know their wines. Right. In fact, a lot of Indians tend to denigrate Indian wine more than they should. There is snob value associated with foreign labels, but we'll overcome that.
Sula today has 3 wineries in Nashik with a total wine producing capacity of 2 million litres. With a 20% share of the Indian wine market, Sula has emerged as the #2 player in just 6 years. It has also set up distributors in the international markets with a presence in California, New York, UK, Italy and even France. It's also importing wines from leading international players. With a growth rate of almost 20 to 25%, the company has been seeing a fair share of interest from investors. In fact, GEM India Advisors picked up a minority stake for $3.5 million.
आपके टच में आने से कुछ चीजें बदली है गांव में, कुछ बदलाव जरूर आया है, लेकिन तुमने तो अमेरिका जाने की पूरी तैयारी कर ली थी। सर, अपने आंगन की बेल दूसरे के घर में फुले फुले तो घर के अरमान माटी में मिल जाते हैं। It's like अपनी चौखट का दिया और giving light to neighbor's house.
Real life does sometimes imitate real life. And just like Shah Rukh Khan's character in Swades, Vikram Akula, the man who's made it to the Time magazine's list of the people who will shape our future for 2006, decided to make his Matribhumi his Karmabhumi. Sounds like pop patriotism? After all, how often does one see a graduate from Yale, a Fulbright scholar, give up on the American dream for an Indian one? But that's exactly what Vikram did. He first came to India in the early 90s and worked with an NGO. And finally, in 1998, launched Swayam Krishi Sangam, an NGO to provide economically underprivileged women in the Telangana region an entrepreneurial opportunity.
In terms of the impact of microfinance, clearly it's about an economic impact first and foremost. So you see families earning more income, you see, children going to school as a result of that. And as a side benefit of that, although it's not something we directly do, certainly women are more empowered. They're in a position where they're actually bringing resources into the household, so they've got greater respect from their husbands, from their father-in-laws, and they have greater power within the household, and you see that. You see greater confidence level. Many of our women are the ones who end up getting into elected office at the village. 3 things that we're focused on as an institution is, 1 is to grow extremely fast, 2 is to continue being immensely customer focused, and 3rd is to continue our work in technology to help automate processes. In terms of our growth, currently we're at about 230,000 clients. We want to scale to 7 lakh clients across 10 states by the end of this fiscal, and then move our cumulative disbursement from 250 crores to 700 crores. So it's actually 7 by 7 by 7. 7 lakh clients, 700 crore disbursement by 2007.
When we interviewed Vikram Akula, he was on Time magazine's list of people who will shape our future. Since then, the accolades have been pouring in. Akula was recently awarded the prestigious Social Entrepreneur of the Year award by the World Economic Forum. He also bagged the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Startup Award 2006. His microfinance initiatives are already providing financial aid to over 3 lakh women in rural India. In fact, SKS has started urban microfinance initiatives in Hyderabad and is now servicing 11 states. The company has also tied up with Life Insurance Corporation of India to provide the largest group insurance scheme.
Born in a business family, Anupam Mittal spent his teen years getting ready to launch his own business. He got his first taste of entrepreneurship in a design supplies venture and then started an export company. But both failed. Anupam says that's because he just wasn't ready. So off he took to travel the world, ended up with an MBA from Boston College, but could find no job for 9 months. That's when Anupam's Indian business, web development company Satyanet.com, came to the rescue. Today, it's transformed into the People Group that includes wireless content company Moj, a friendship portal Froppers.com, and the most successful of them all, Shadi.com, a matrimonial portal that grew out of a chance meeting with a matchmaking pundit.
He started telling me about what he did, and I got intrigued. So I said, how many can you carry? And he said 50 or 100 biodata. I said, how many people do you see every month? And he said, oh, about 50. So I said, okay, so the choice of my life partner, I beg your pardon, is then limited by the weight you can carry and how far you can travel. And he kind of said yes cheekily, but you know, I started to think, and I said, why not take this stuff and put it on the internet so there's no geographical limitations at least.
Marriages are not made in heaven anymore, they're stitched on the net. No wonder then that Shadi.com today has 8 million registered users. It is this strong growth that has attracted venture capital funds like Westbridge Capital Partners, Sequoia and Intel Capital to put $18 million into the company. With 100% year-on-year growth in revenues, Anupam Mittal has crafted an enterprise worth $20 million in revenues today.
Time for us to take a quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere. The best of Young Turks 2006 when we return. Welcome back. You're watching the very best of Young Turks 2006. All of our young achievers have dared to dream. They give us hope because they have the conviction to turn their dreams into reality. Let's relive some of the Young Turks moments with them.
Sorry. 36-year-old A.R. Rahman, a man whose music needs little introduction today, started work at age 11 when he joined Tamil music composer Ilayaraja's troupe.
I mean, composing is not a thing which you can, predict that maybe I can become a composer, because it's totally different art, and I didn't know that I had it at that time. I was just playing pieces which was written before, or a music composer would give me. Slowly, when I started working in jingles and stuff for other people, I realized that I could do very short ones, short compositions, and that became bigger, and then the movie started. Roja was my first movie.
Today he is larger than life, single-handedly representing Indian music and culture across the globe. His 3-year-old association with Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber has resulted in the first ever Indian musical to play out in London's West End. But Bombay Dreams may just be the beginning of a global Rahman mania.
God has been very kind, and it was a great sensational feeling on the June 19th. But it's just the first step, I think. It still go further on things like that.
He just keeps getting bigger and better. His soul-stirring music for 2 Oscar-nominated films, Rang De Basanti and Water, in the same year have made him the envy of the music world. His next big venture, The Golden Age, a sequel of the Oscar-nominated film Elizabeth.
The Mozart of Madras has notched up 4 national awards and 7 Filmfare Awards in the Best Music category. Life could have been very different for Ajay Bijli. He could have taken over a 6-decade-old family transport business and helped it grow. But this young entrepreneur wanted more. So he took a calculated risk, revamped the family-owned cinema hall in Delhi and decided to enter the film exhibition business. Today, his company PVR Limited is the largest cinema exhibition player, and in just 6 years, the company has already built 4 multiplexes.
There's only 1 or 2 cinemas in Delhi at that time which were showing English films, but I believe that they were probably not doing such a great job, and there was a lot of scope for improvement. Traveling a lot since childhood, so we saw a lot of cinemas abroad, and therefore it was really a model which was prevalent in the States and England for a long time, and the idea was just bring it to India, where movie going is such an important part of the culture. So movies and cricket, I think, are 2 things that the whole nation is obsessed with, and the whole idea was just to enhance the packaging of that experience, and that's all we did really. We just targeting customers who are discerning moviegoers. I wouldn't really like to use the word elitist. So there's an infrastructure cost involved in running an operation which is of a certain standard, and there's a capital expenditure that you end up incurring in making a product offering which is of a certain standard. So that if you add it all up, you need to charge a price which justifies a good business proposition.
What started with a dream in 1997 is now a 70mm reality for Ajay Bijli. PVR now has 1,000 employees, 68 screens across the country, and also India's largest multiplex at PVR Bangalore. The company listed on both the Bombay and the National Stock Exchange early this year. In fact, its issue was oversubscribed 11 times. PVR has now also entered the distribution business via PVR Pictures and will soon launch their budget multiplexes under the PVR Talkies brand. This was the moment that changed the life of a regular army man. Major Rajyavardhan Rathore returned home a hero from Athens, the only medal winner for India in the 2004 Olympics. A sportsman at heart, Rathore does not believe in giving up. He took to the sport rather late in life but decided to make a go of it despite opposition from his colleagues who thought he was jeopardizing his army career. Now, with an Olympic medal under his belt, Rathore feels it's been worth it.
I would continue to be a soldier. I'm very proud of the fact that I'm in the armed forces. I love the uniform. It's one of the best organizations India can have. It's an organization that India can depend on, I can say that. As far as shooting is concerned, I would continue shooting. I have a responsibility now in any case, not only towards performing in my event, but also in trying to if I can, motivate the youngsters, get the spirit of Olympics back again.
After winning India's first ever silver at the 2004 Olympics, Rajyavardhan Rathore was a member of the winning squad in the 2005 Commonwealth Shooting Championship in Melbourne. He also won the gold in the individual and team events in the men's double trap at the 2005 Asian Clay Shooting Championship at Bangkok. Rathore won a bronze at the 15th Asian Games in Doha earlier this year. Time for us to head into another quick commercial break, but when we return, young achievers who decided to give politics a chance. That on Young Turks 2006 when we return. Welcome back. You're watching the best of Young Turks 2006. We now bring you the story of one young achiever who decided to give up his fat paycheck and a cushy job to become an instrument of change. For 31-year-old Jyotiraditya Scindia, the transition from the corporate world to mainstream politics was not so much by choice as it was by fate. September 30th, 2001,
changed life for him in many ways. He not only lost his father, senior Congress leader Madhav Rao Scindia, but also took on the onerous task of perpetuating his father's political legacy.
This was an offering, a Shraddhanjali that the people of the region gave to my father. And there are no two ways about that. However, it also instilled a lot of responsibility on me to be able to carry on the works of development and progress that my father had initiated, to be able to complete his dreams.
His first political test was the Guna by-poll, which he passed quite convincingly. Defeating his rival from the BJP by a margin of over 3 lakh votes, Jyotiraditya bettered his father's performance in the 1999 general elections and became the third-generation Scindia to represent the Guna parliamentary constituency in the Lok Sabha. But he honestly admits the numbers reflect the circumstances in which the elections were held.
We as a nation need to sit down and craft a vision for India. I think A, that as a member of the younger generation, B, really be able to communicate that vision, and C, build consensus on it. And I think whether one talks about economic reform or progress, one really needs to have a outward-looking view on things rather than an insular view, which I think partly is the trend today in India.
Congress Party's very own young Turk has been busy in his constituency Guna since we last spoke. He's sanctioned projects worth almost 480 crores. He's managed to start a railway shuttle between Gwalior and Guna, sanctioned 260 crore rupees to improve roads, and has even managed to power up 16,000 below the poverty line households. Healthcare is close to his heart, and Scindia Jr. has brought in the Lifeline Express annually to treat almost 21,000 people free of cost.
That's it then on this very special episode of Young Turks 2006. We promised to get bigger, we promised to get even better in 2007. So don't forget to tune in to the Young Turks ride. From all of us here on the Young Turks team, we wish all of you a very happy new year and a rocking 2007.